four-time Miss Olympia Jay Cutler. Welcome to my channel, Jay Cutler TV, and make sure to stay in tune with the newest and updated videos. Subscribe below, guys. Thank you so much for following along.
All right, guys, Jay Cutler TV. We're wrapping up the 2018 season. I'm looking forward to 19, and everyone's got new goals. Everyone's got certain things that they're shooting for, and listen, keep following our channel because it's super important. We're putting on a lot of different content, and we're trying to answer most importantly fans' questions. So this is going to be a Ask Jay questions. I don't know what we'll title this, but I have basically 3 questions I want to answer, and I'll elaborate each one a little bit. Okay. First question is, Ask Jay, has he ever been offered a role or a small part in a movie? Of course. I've been approached a million times. I actually, if you guys follow the channel, I know some of you guys are back in the day. We actually had a Hercules film back in 2009, and we were approached with a script that had me portray that character. I think The Rock ended up doing it later, but I actually got to meet Stan Lee. We talked about creating a whole character, and which was kind of cool. It was exciting. I just had wanted Mr. Olympia back, if you guys recall, and my career was kind of revitalized, and I was still gung-ho on being a professional bodybuilder, and at the time I was a huge earner, and I was doing great things in bodybuilding prior to social media. But we looked at that movie. We had budget restraints. I think we started at $20-something million. They tried cutting back down, and it never really escalated to what we expected it to. And it was mainly on me because I wanted to focus on the bodybuilding thing, which was super important for me at the time. And I did pass on it, and I don't regret it because obviously the career's been crazy since. I mean, I'm still doing great things as a professional bodybuilder, but the movie things, I wasn't a guy that was going to go try out for parts. I mean, that's the thing. If they approached me and said, hey, we're going to use you for this, please, can we commit to it? That's a whole different story. But you don't really get that in Hollywood. Just because, people have a perception of me like, oh, he must be, sought after for this and that. It just doesn't work like that. I mean, we appear so much bigger on screen. So, when you look at someone like me, I mean, it's just outrageous, the size. And they're looking for characters, when they cast for muscle guys, I mean, you'd be surprised at some of the guys that show up. They're just little, like more just fit guys, okay? So really, never really escalated to that. And, but who's to say the future can't bring out, more possibilities, okay? Can you talk more about taking care of your body, like when you mentioned about getting massages 2 to 3 times a week? Super important. I spent hours on end, okay, taking care of my body, meaning you break down your body in the gym every day, okay? You become less flexible as you get bigger. Remember, the muscle fibers tear, and when that tearing happens, that creates the fullness in the muscle because the fibers form over, and that's how you get the swelling in the muscles, right? So you have to get out and you have to flush those toxins. You have to continually keep the body pliable. You have to continue to stretch. And you need mobility, because if the muscle doesn't work well with mobility, you're not going to get the growth. You're not going to get the balance. You're not going to be able to pose. You're not going to be able to display it. You're not going to be able to recover. And the nutrients in the blood flow is going to be very restrictive to a hard muscle, right? So you really have to stretch that fascia. Now, someone like me, I learned that early. I started doing massages in 1996, I believe, back in Massachusetts. And when I moved to California, and I'm going to mention this guy's name because if you guys are ever in Orange County, he is absolutely amazing. And I would honestly tell you, if there's a percentage of my career that was because of this guy helped me, and he was referred to me by Chris Cormier. His name is Steve Murphy. He's located in Newport Beach, and he's a neuromuscular therapist. And if you guys don't know what neuromuscular therapy is, look it up. He watched me compete in '99 Olympia. He was out there with his wife at the time, and my first Olympia in Vegas, and I remember he told me, he said, man, I've watched you pose, and I said, this kid could be really good. He just needs to open up and be able to do the poses better. And when I started working with him, I mean, my career skyrocketed. I couldn't even put my arm behind my back. I was so tight in my shoulders, so that was very restrictive in my training. Remember, it's not just the posing, but when you can't even get your arms back to really, you're not going to work your lats properly, everything else. So he really worked in stretching that fascia, opening up that tissue. I went to him every single week, and you can ask him. I would go at 6 in the morning when he was the freshest. I was his first appointment. So on my days off from training, I would actually go see Steve. He would work me for an hour each time, work through my whole body, really focusing on the infraspinatus and, you know, all the quads, and really releasing the fascia that, you know, along the piriformis, and really the things that get really bound up with training. And eventually I moved away from Orange County, and I still flew out there on my days off from training because he was that good. And it was huge for me. I was able to come, you know, you guys know the 2001 story, 2002, all those years, and then work through, and you know, Steve was a huge success factor. Probably I would give 20% of my successful career to Steve Murphy because of that tissue work. But the more important thing, guys, is 45 today, okay? I have no joint pain. I have no aches. I have no anything. And Dave sitting behind the camera can attest this, because I can still do all the exercises. I can squat, I can deadlift, I can shoulder press, I can put my arms behind my back. Why? Because I took care of my body. And I worked with Derek Farnsworth. I worked with a guy in Jeff in San Diego. I worked with a guy, Jason, that was a huge massage therapist here. Kelly Ducalotti was my stretch coach here. She helped me out tremendously. I did kettlebell training. I did Pilates. Lisa Baila, she helped me with that. I had a reformer at home. I have that stretch machine. You guys see me crank that stretch machine. I still do it all. And I still keep my body pliable, because we beat ourselves up so bad in the gym. And we become so, you know, I became so big. I needed to take care of my body. So I was able to do that with the help of all this tissue work, okay? So we're not talking, like, I don't go to the Win Spa and get a massage. You know, I go to get beat down, okay? It's like a workout. So basically that day off from training, man, I was so sore the next day, but it really helped my body. So you really need to take care of your body and take the time. I would suggest massage therapy once a week if it's not affordable, twice a month, okay? Okay, when an IFBB pro retires and stands in front of a mirror, do you miss the sheer mass you once carried? Have you found the downsizing difficult, or has it been a welcome change?
Good question.
You know what? I still envision the frame of what I was. Remember, I always stated I would get bigger than I wanted to be. So ideally, what was my ideal? 240. 240 was my ideal. I liked how I looked at the first Olympia. You know, 1999, I finished 15 out of 16. I was really round and full. Waist was smaller. You know, as I got bigger, you know, the waist grew, and, you know, the symmetry's not as much, but that's what they went after, sheer mass. So I think, you know, I don't miss it as much, because I am pretty happy with how I'm maintaining, especially at my age, and how I eat and how I train, because it's not super strict. I would like to get in sick shape again, and that, I think, is going to happen in 19. I'm going to get on a program, I think, that's going to allow me to get leaner and a little rounder, not necessarily bigger, because I'm about 245 now. But I would like to still get in better shape, meaning, you know, listen, as you get older, your skin doesn't have that grasp on the muscle like it did, or the muscle is not as full. But I'm curious to see, if I get fuller, rounder muscle, how my skin's going to sit. And I think ideally that's what, you know, Dave and I just talked about this the other day, and I said, you know, it's just, I see, you know, my skin, like when I flex my bicep, I see like the skin's not as tight. And he's like, man, if you just diet, I think you would actually, you know, be a little tighter. So listen, I lied. I said there wasn't any real body goals at this point. Of course, I'd love to be ripped, but I know the effort it's going to take. It's going to take 3 months, 4 months of intense dieting and training consistency, which you guys probably say, well, Jay, we watch you on video every day, work out and eat good, and, you know, do your cardio every morning. And yeah, but it's got to be in sequence, meaning I can't have days where I fall off, because there's days I eat 2 meals a day, there's days I eat 4 meals a day, I eat bad food, or I miss a training session, or miss a cardio. Like, I need to get back in and train like I did for a show. But so do I miss it? No, I don't miss the sheer mass. But what's the second part of the question? Hold on. Downsizing difficult? No. Downsizing has been very easy for me. Very easy only because of this. There's 4, okay? And there's only a few people that have more than one, okay? So look around. You know, I'm still doing great things in bodybuilding. I still inspire a lot of people based on how I look. These young kids come to me and they're like, man, you're so huge. I'm like, I'm not big compared to what I used to be. And, you know, it's just awesome that I can, you know, continue to do what I love to do. I mean, that's what I'm very blessed at. So don't miss it. Don't plan on getting on stage. So those hashtags, not just yet, that doesn't mean I'm coming back. But I may get back into sick shape, and trust me, you guys will be the first to see, and we'll document it on YouTube. And I will start vlogging in 19 also. You will start seeing videos where I sit in front of this camera and actually talk like I'm doing now, because I think people want to hear a great interest of that. So until then, there's my 3 questions. Okay, guys, keep training. How much time we have?
We're good, 11 minutes.
Okay, so you keep watching the channel. Make sure if you don't subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Spread the word. Jay Cutler TV on the rise, 2019. I want to hit 1 million subscribers, so keep following along. Take care, guys.